I just want to say I appreciate you being here for the couple minutes of your life just to see this video. And we are going to get started with book review of False Memory. I actually had a comment about this a few months ago of when I did the last Dean Koontz book, which is The Servant of Twilight. And someone said, you need to check this book out. And I was like, you know what? I will. So I made sure this was the next one I had, and I surprisingly did have it. And I'm not going to lie. Oh, wow. This book gives me trust issues with doctors and well more so just with like therapists. Now, Dean Koontz, to a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people actually have read Dean Koontz. I feel like obviously people have, but they might not know too much with Dean Koontz. But the dude to me is arguably better than Stephen King in a lot of aspects. Stephen King is good at writing like the coming of age part and like spooky, but like Dean Koontz is really good at writing like the psychological thrillers of like, holy crap, this is so warped. And that's what I really like with Dean Koontz. I'm actually starting to like Dean Koontz more than I like Stephen King, which is kind of insane because Stephen King is the reason why I even got into reading and writing. But Dean Koontz just exceeds that. Every single one of the books I've read from Dean Koontz currently, which is 5 now, I have liked every single one of them. All of them have at least been a 4-star or higher. So I'm very confident that like Dean Koontz is easily one of my favorite authors currently, without a doubt. And I don't know anything about his books. I just grab one of his books and just read it. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into False Memory. So False Memory is not what I expected. I thought it was gonna be like you're living like a double life essentially, but it's not at all. And you start with the book with the main character named Marty. She is walking her dog and she's having like a really good easy life. She's like happy and she doesn't really have too much worries, but all of a sudden she starts getting like weird feelings of like freaking out. And you're like, what is going on? But he doesn't like he eases into it pretty well, so you don't actually know. And then you go to the next POV of Dusty, who is actually married to Marty, and Dusty is a painter and he is with his brother named Skeet. Now, Skeet is, that's just what he calls himself because he doesn't want to take his actual name because he doesn't like his dad, which is fair. Skeet is talking about doing like leaping off of
What you do?
ending his life. And so Dusty tries to talk him out of it. And Marty goes with Susan, who's a friend, to a doctor because Susan has anxiety with social problems. She actually like breaks down and can't leave her apartment at all. So and that's a huge thing. So she has to go to her doctor, and her doctor obviously helps her with it. And then as soon as she leaves like the office, she instantly is just back to how she was, where she's scared of everything and everything. And Marty does the same thing where Marty's like comforting her, but Marty still has like this thought in her head of like violence, like of just the most extreme thing she can do to like anyone. And while reading the book in my head, I'm like, what in God's name is going on? Like, I have no idea what is the point of all this. Like, I just didn't understand. But the problem is like his books are always like short chaptered books, and they're just so fast paced where you just have to. They're just page turners, which I really enjoy reading his books. And he does a good job at writing books where you can actually sit down and read them, and it doesn't matter how long. Like this is a 600-page book, and it didn't feel like 600 pages. He does a good job at writing characters where you can actually enjoy them without doing a huge long backstory. Like a lot of people's complaints with like Stephen King is where he just does a lot of day-to-day life stuff where a lot of people think it can be boring. And I'm one of them. I like that, but sometimes it's just like, come on, let's get to the story. This one, his writing doesn't do that, and that's what I really enjoy with Dean Koontz writing. It's nice, it's fresh. And with this, he picks up the pace pretty quick. Like it's like 50 pages into it, and it's already like hitting the fan. And you kind of notice that Dusty takes his brother Skeet into a mental hospital, and he says, Dr. Yenyo? And instantly, Skeet's like, I'm listening. And Skeet's like referring to something, and Dusty has no idea what he's talking about. And he repeats the things back to Skeet, and then he's like, Skeet, just go to sleep. And Skeet just instantly just fell asleep. And there's a lot of panic. And in my head, I'm like, oh, so it's just like another life. That's what I've been thinking, because it's called false memory. So that's what I've been thinking about. I never put two and two together, and I'm not gonna spoil what actually happens because it really blew my mind of what actually happened in this book that I just was, holy crap. And there was another part in this book when Marty drops off Susan. Marty starts freaking out. She has to hide everything that can, like, off someone. Mic cut out, so I'm going to finish the rest of the video without Mike, and I'm kind of upset about it. But yeah, so anyways, Marty freaks out and is grabbing objects that could end people's lives. And she starts throwing them all into a bag or a box or just whatever to protect Dusty. And throughout the whole time I'm reading this, what God's name is going on? Why does she have these ideas that something she's gonna hurt Dusty the whole time? Like, I just never understood why. And eventually, you actually figured out why. Now, it's insane that you actually learn who the villain is pretty early. So the rest of the book, you're just like sitting there thinking, you're like, what are these guys gonna do? Like, what are they gonna do to prevent all this? And I really enjoy that aspect of it. It just really makes you think, oh my gosh, are they actually gonna save themselves? I just think that's just insane, honestly. But it was just such a great book. I gave it a 5 stars. I don't really give 5 stars out too much anymore. The book has to really leave an impact, and this book definitely did. So yeah, it was just so good. If you guys made it to the end of this video, I do appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out all my socials down below. Check out my book. And of course, check out Dean Koontz books. I feel like he just doesn't get talked about enough on YouTube in general. And I think more people should read him. And make sure you guys stay safe, stay hungry, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.